Welcome to Trading Lounge and the daily US stocks for Wednesday, August 10. And just starting with the NASDAQ here, this is my primary count for the markets in general. So we're looking at a corrective rally in terms of an A and a B and a C wave here for wave A, and then an ABC back for B and up for C, and then we come down for another leg. Now there is the possibility that we can have a low in here and the markets can just continue to the upside, and that's apparent when we look at Apple, because Apple's the one that's risen, well, one of the ones that has risen the most, but I'm still going to go with this count, but we'll keep the bullish count in mind as we have been doing as well. But we won't know that, I won't know that it's a bullish count until I get enough evidence. And in a nutshell, we're looking at 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So once we've got that here, I mean, we could look at this as wave 1 here and 2 here, like we have been in a bullish count, and then look at this as wave 3 up here. So we'll see how the B wave comes back, because a wave 4 would just come back as 38.2% and a B wave would come back at 50% or 60%, you know, so we'll see that along the way. But at this stage, we've been looking for a top, and it was possible to put one in right on that top there, but I don't think that's the case, so we'd need to gather more evidence for that. So in a nutshell, I think there's another move to the upside. So I think that the current move that we're looking at the moment is just a pullback at this point. Okay, so that's pretty much the general sort of pattern. Now there are exceptions in the market. Well, I mean, we don't look at all the stocks obviously, but there are exceptions to this count when we look at Meta Platforms is one. Nvidia is another one, but generally speaking, you know, this is what we're looking at here. So we can line this up with tech stocks, we can line this up with low volatility stocks, we can load it up with banks and so on. So this is just generally speaking, this is the pattern that we're looking at. And yeah, so let's just cruise along. So as I mentioned, Apple has risen the most, but I still think there's we can have a look. You can look. I can. You know, I've gone over and over this. You can look at this in different ways. This particular move here, and yeah, sure, it looks bullish, and it is bullish, and it is strong. But I'm still looking for a top. So as I just mentioned with the NASDAQ, we want to look for one more move to the upside. And this is kind of interesting here, because when we look at the trading levels, so we're in group 2 here, minor group 2, and at minor group 2 it comes in at 65, in this case 165, and 72, 172 and 180. That's a little group, and there's lots of other levels inside of all of that as well. It's just the skeleton of it. But generally what I find is that if a market can find support in this level on the 65, then it can climb higher. So it's kind of a do or die situation, a support or resistance, this space here. So we'll look at that in a bit of detail. Now we've been looking at this in a bullish count, and we can look at, I mean, I've got 2 bullish counts to the upside, and I think that you know, they're valid, and it's yeah, I mean, you know, you could also count this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 to here, for an A wave here and a B wave here and a C wave top here as well, with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you could go that way with it. There's different ways to look at it, but one of the important things is that the length of this wave 1 here is pretty much the same length as this one here as well. In fact, this one here is just a tad longer, and then this one here is just a tad shorter. So that's why you could look at it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to this point, but the correction here doesn't really sort of suit that. But anyway, this is just a bullish count, and there are other bullish counts to this as well. I won't go to the next bullish count. I just wanted to have a look at this. This is basically where we were yesterday, looking at this as a top here. All right, but I'm thinking that we've got one more move to the upside for this. So you can see here, example is that this is the 165 here, and you can see that it's really sort of battling with it at the moment, isn't it? It's been, you know, snaking across sideways here. So in a way, we don't know if it's support or resistance yet, do we really? But at the same time, the important point here, it hasn't let go of it. It's sticking to it. And while it's sticking to it, then it has a chance to become support. So it hasn't let go of it and dropped away at this point. I'm going to go to the 100 ticks at this stage and get in there a little bit closer. Get a bit more data in here for this. So yeah, I mean, we were looking at it yesterday as a top being in place here, but I'm thinking that we've got another move to the upside here. This is the 61.8% here. So really, if there was going to be a move to the upside, I think I probably mentioned this yesterday, you would need that level there as the support. This one here to go long at that point, and you could go up to the 170 at that point. Okay, so I think we're in a wave 4 here, and we need to go up to a wave 5. Okay, with Nvidia in a slightly different situation, but we've still got that count that we looked at with the NASDAQ. We're looking at an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave. Now, this stock is a little bit different in that this low here is in July. Right, but most of the stock market and crypto markets and other markets had a low around the 17th of June. That's where most of them. So the ones that landed on the 17th of June, they can have the same patterns to the upside. Anything else would need to be treated differently. In this case with the Nvidia here, we've just counted 5 waves up here. That's been pretty clear, and it fell out of bed here and it's dropped back to the 50-60% retracement level. There is this little gap in here that caught my eye here. It seems to, I haven't done a total search back on it, and with gaps are only important to the degree in history that they're being covered before. So if you go back over history of a particular stock, and you can see that it always covers gaps, or it does it to 90% or 80% or 50% or 30%, well then that's how useful it is to you. It's as simple as that. Okay, so I haven't gone back over history, but I've just noted that one here. We can have a quick look. I don't see any at first sight here, so this one here eventually got covered over here. I mean, with the futures market, I'm in Australia, so I started with the S&P when I was first started, but then I traded the SPY, and I used to keep, hand-drawn charts, and I used to know when there was just the tiniest gap left for 3 to 6 months back, and that would be noted into the future, all hand-drawn charts. Computers hadn't come in then. That was in the early 80s. So sometimes gaps are useful, sometimes they're not. So it does appear that yesterday we started to count this down as 5 waves. So it kind of looks like a nice 5 waves at this point, doesn't it? So we'll look for a B wave and a C wave, and then we can move, tune back in with this here. But it's out of sync because of the July thing. The A wave's already in here, so it's out of sync. So it will need to sync in at some point along the line. We're going to go into 100 ticks and just check on where we were yesterday. So where we were yesterday was in the fall here somewhere, looking for, I think we might have even had wave 4 here. The thing here is that I could probably look at this as 1 and 2 and 3 down here, but it doesn't really suit it. It looks like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, just for like some sort of 3rd wave and 4th wave here. So I'm thinking that there may be a problem in this one here, and this really needs to go back over here. We need to look at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. I've put the low in here because it's risen so much, right? So we'll just keep a bit of an eye on it. We should be looking for some sort of ABC back into the 180 area for this. So as the other markets top out, well then this will top out in its own way as such. So it looks like the stochastic looks like it wants to push up, but that's where it is. We'll try to pick this up over here for this to do long trades over here. We won't. B waves can be simple or they can be complex, so we'll need to be careful. But from B to C, it'll just be a simple 5 wave, so we'll be able to pick that up, so we can do the long trade at that side. Amazon. So with Amazon here, we're looking at an A wave, a B wave, much the same as the NASDAQ, and 1 and 2. And then last time we spoke, we were looking at this as wave 3 here and wave 4 here and wave 5 here. So it's possible to have that top in here, but I'm going to change this over to this area through here. Now, as long as this market stays above the 38.2% retracement level, let's just say the 130 to keep it simple at this point, as long as it stays above that, then I'm going to treat this as a wave 4 and we should expect to move higher, because, you know, we have to stay with the trend until proven otherwise. It's kind of important, you know, picking tops is sort of dangerous business, and you really need some evidence of that. So I'm just sort of dragging it in line with the other markets. So basically here we're looking for the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave for the B wave, and then down for the C wave. It is possible that we can have a low in here. We can just continue to the upside, but I don't have any evidence of that so far. I mean, it's possible, but I can't confirm it. That's the thing. So yeah, yeah, so I think I'll go to 100 ticks and just check on this a little bit. So, I mean, I had this wave 4 here as an alternative count, but I've put the alternative count over here for 3, 4, and 5 at this point. So I'll just keep an eye on this, and this is the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree here. So I'm still thinking that we've got another move to the upside. This 3 and 4 here is part of the more bullish count, but we don't need to go there just yet, because we're going to get this, and we're going to get a reaction from the 150, the medium level anyway. So we'll just give this a little bit of time. So yeah, just be careful about shorting at this particular point. Now, Meta Platforms is doing its own thing. It's out of sync with the rest of the markets. It fell out of bed much earlier, and you know, it's out there by itself at the moment. So, but you know what? The main point here is that this whole move down through here is one cycle in a way. So we've got the beginning of the trend, we've got the middle of the trend here, and now we're in the ending stages. So I don't see any evidence of it going up just yet. So I know that you know, companies are saying that it's undervalued and all the rest of it, but I still think it's still got further to go down. And because it's doing its own thing, we could actually, this wave 4 that we're looking for, we could actually put it in there on top right now, and it can make new lows at this point. But I'm not going to do that. We're going to go to the one. This is a 2-day chart. Not that nothing special about that. I'm just going to go into the 100 ticks, because we were looking at that rally there yesterday. And just bring in a bit more information in here. So it's a little bit wonky, but one of the things we picked up was a nice little impulse wave in here to make wave 1 and 2 here, then 1 and 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, a nice ABC for the fourth wave here, and then the fifth wave here. So we've got this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. And I was thinking, you know, yesterday we could look at this as the A wave, the B wave, and we called the top in here as that. So it could be there for that. But if those other markets are going to push up, we may get something, you know, we may get something else. It doesn't have to follow the same as the other markets, you know, but it could push up again here. You know, I'm not quite sure, or it could do something, you know, do something a bit weird. It could just come, you know, it could just come straight down from this point as well. But because the other markets are it looks like they're going up, I can't just go short this right now. I don't have enough evidence, you know. I mean, if we had this as 5 waves down, and then we had 3 waves back up, and then we had another 5 down, then we could short under the 5 here. But I don't want to short into this number here anyway, because it's just going to bounce. And we can see that there's some, you know, big buyers off the 150 area here. Somebody's accumulating down here, so we don't want to get caught out by those folks. Right, so the next one is Tesla. So with Tesla here, much the same as Apple, I mean much the same as the NASDAQ. We've got the A wave, the B wave here, and I've been looking at 1 and 2 here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave. So we're at the 38.2% retracement level. We've got a nice ABC pattern here. Look, it could become more bearish, but as long as it stays above you know, the 800 here, I'm not going to call this, I'm not going to put this A wave top in and call it in at that point. I still, you know, the general gist of the markets is we're looking for another move up here, so I'll stay with that for this. So it should lift off here, because that looks, I can see the beginning, the middle, and end there, so it's very close, and it's sitting on the 38.2, and plus the 850 here as well. So, you know, the 5 is the second strongest number. It's also, I mean, a bit of a Gann trick. You get 2 numbers that you're working with and find the middle of that. That's always important. The halfway mark is always important for Gann and his analysis. So some of those tricks work quite well. It's how I develop the trading levels. That's how we get the medium level between 2 major levels. So yeah, anyway, we're still looking for one more move to the upside. I don't have 5 waves down here. We had 5 here, so that means we can get didn't have 5 here actually. When we look at that here, this is actually an A wave, a B wave, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that was an A and a B and a C wave here. We looked at that on the 100 ticks, so I won't go there today. But that was not 5 waves down here. Okay, you can have a look at that on a smaller version. So Alphabet, as I mentioned, I'm not that interested in this. We can see the moving up here on sort of lower volume. From the low here, we were looking at it going to the 120 area. There's probably another little move to the upside with this as well. But even if it fell back here, started to pull back, I'm still not interested in it. We couldn't be interested in this one here. But as you can see here, I just think we're going to get a continuation of this situation here. So yeah, a bit complicated, but that's sort of where we are with it at the moment. So it'll be something of this nature here. And Microsoft. So we're just looking for another move to the upside here for that, and then we've got the B wave and then the C wave for the B, and then we'll come down for that side of it. Yes, it is possible to have the low in place here, and we can be bullish and we can keep going up there and take out the top. I don't know that yet. I don't, you know, I got to keep an equal mind on this. And I knew that when this, and I mentioned it a few times, that when these markets that we're looking at do start to move up, we need to be careful that we don't get lost in our own opinions of thinking that the market's bullish without any evidence. Yes, we know that it's bullish, but it can also be corrective bullish as well. So we'll see, you know. I mean, it depends on the US dollar a lot, you know. So that's going to, and that's still not clear either, that situation. So anyway, we'll get there with that. Let's go in and have a look at this, I suppose. I'm just sort of thinking what we've got here. I think we'll just go to I'll see what's on the 100 ticks. I'm not sure if we're on 1000 or 100 or what. Okay, so right. So yesterday we talked about having a high in here. I don't think that's the case. I think we've still got one more move up. In fact, I think we talked about going long above the 280 and also, but more the safe trade was above 283. So the 83 is the top of subgroup 1 of minor group 2 here. So group 2 is 65, 72 and 80. They're minor levels, and then the sub levels here will be 81, 82, 83. So if we get a tested support on 83, the market's going to push to 85 at that point, and then we'll be off at that. We'll be going up at that point. So I think we'll just leave that wave 4 there, and we'll be pushing up there, and this wave 3 would come back over to here, but we'll adjust all of that later. And Berkshire Hathaway here. So I've counted this up here much the same as the A, the B here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here. I know that we could count this as being 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 here and having a top in play here, but that wouldn't be in sync with the rest of the market. So I'm thinking that we still need to go up here. You know, trading around large numbers is more of a day trading thing. So it's not something that you want to be sort of holding overnight, because it just gets big numbers attract big orders, and they can, you know, shift the market around pretty quickly, and it can catch you out. The risk reward factor is just not there for holding overnight around large numbers. So we just let it go. But I think if I'm on track here, we're going to see some sort of move up here to finish the A wave and then the B wave here, and then we can look to trade the C wave up at that point. And square here, much the same sort of pattern as well. The A wave, the B wave, and then 1 and 2. A nice strong third wave up here for the third wave, coming back for the fourth wave, and then going up for the fifth wave here. I know it looks like it's sort of you know, quite bearish at this point, but I think we should get a nice bounce off the 80. And yeah, we don't really have 5 waves up here as 1, 2 here, you know, so it just sort of makes sense to look at some other move into this space, and then we can have our A wave, B wave and C wave coming deeper into here, and then moving up again from that point. I know a lot of this is not easy. You know, we have to pick and choose our moments. It's not like we're in a big bear market or a big bullish market. We're in, you know, corrective rallies. So, you know, we need to be tactical. We need to be careful. We need to use smaller position sizes. It's a different space, you know. So, Bank of America here. So, yeah, an ABC down here for the A wave, and looking for an A and a B and a C. So I think you can see that it looks like it wants to push up, not to get lost in the last closing of the last bar to dictate the whole trend. But this sideways consolidation here is an accumulation phase, and it needs to, the distribution phase needs to play out. So I think it needs to push up further, and that would be the same with the other banks as well. We'll just go to the 10 ticks here, from 10,000 ticks to 10 ticks, and have a look. Not that one, this one, we need some more. That'll do for the time being. So this sideways movement here, I tried to simplify it as an A wave, a B wave and a C wave, but I've got this other little move in here. So we'll probably have to look at it as a more of a triangle pattern to this low here for this. So I was thinking of this being an impulse wave up here, but what suits me better, it's nice to see that move up, but was this one here with an A wave, a B wave here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. A little bit dodgy, I know, and you could, you know, think, but if I was to trade this, I would be looking for a nice support on the 34 here to help prove that, you know. So a classic trading levels pattern on the 34 there to get that. So we're getting the arrival now. We'll need the reaction, the first high above the level. So it needs to wingle its way over. You need a couple of high points that you can use as triggers to trade long. It's as simple as that, really. So it's not support yet, but that's where that would be at. I haven't given too much attention to Goldman's here. I know I could expand this and lift this up. To me, we've got 300, which is a major trading level 3. Then we've got group 1 here, 10, 20, and 30. So to me, normally when we get support on 30, on top of group 1, on top of number 3, then we just push up to 5. So that's what I'm thinking here. And I could look at all of this as wave 1 and back for 2 here, and look at this as 3, 4, 5. So while we're above the 30, as a betting man, I would just stay long at this point. And this whole trend here, I wouldn't turn bearish unless I had the number 2 within group 1 as the resistance. That gives me a set of rules to stay in trends, the trading levels. And JP here, we've been working this correction here. We've seen this push up here, so we could probably just look at this as wave 1 here, and it may pull back for wave 2 here. I'm not quite sure, but because it looks like a little bit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 an ABC pattern here, but it could just obviously push up from there as well. So it doesn't look like a nice 5-wave structure there, does it? But just checking things. So what we can do is we can drop that. We start from the top and then we can bring it down to the B wave high here. And then if it does drop down here, then you'll have to look for a classic trading levels pattern back over here on the 115 to pick that up at that point. But we should see still more upside there. I mean, it has made a new high here, but it's so minuscule, but still, we'll see how that travels. So we'll be looking for 3, 4, 5 to play out in this for this top. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that we got one more move to the upside. But let's just see if we get any strength come into the markets over the next sessions. Alrighty, cheers.